Hey, Hound Dogs, I'm David Hankins,
I'm Paul Hankins.
and you're on the air with Power Squared. This week, we're going to take a look forward into 2025. A couple of weeks ago, at the beginning of December, we did a sort of a 2024 review, but we want to talk about what's going to happen, hopefully, in 2025 for Power Squared.
That's right.
We are a comic book, surprise, and we are going to be putting out 4 issues next year. Which include issue number 24, which is Gashadoru.
Gashadokuro. You're going to have to learn how to pronounce it.
Yes, pronounce it. So that's actually part of a 2-part that with your Yuki-Onna.
Yes.
See, I got that one right. And it's individual adventures with the boys.
Yes.
Now,
So these 2 issues they take place at the same time, but each one focuses on one of the boys on their own.
and Trevor wrote the first one.
Yes.
And you wrote the second one.
Yes.
And one features Eli, one features Marty. It's so it's kind of exciting. I mean, they happen at the same time, but they're separate.
Yes. We were. The inspiration for that was this arc in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 3 Stardust Crusaders, where it was 2 simultaneous fights going on at the same time, and at some point the stories come back together.
Okay. We want to show a cover of... So in this one, Eli's fighting a...
Gashadokuro.
Okay. Which is a skeleton?
Yes.
Okay. Which is... I like the cover. I think it's a good cover. Don't you?
Yeah.
Okay. And in Yuki-Onna, do we have that? Marty is fighting a...
Yuki-Onna.
Okay, which is a...
Which is an ice-based yokai.
Okay. And one of the things we've set up in the stories were that only one boy could do a power at a time.
Yes.
So I'm sure that comes up here in this.
Yeah, we part of the writing was actually taking that into account.
Okay, so that's kind of a little flip on the whole sharing powers thing, which is kind of cool.
Yes.
So that's 24 and 25, and that would probably be March and June.
Yeah. We'll update with exact dates when we figure it out.
Yes, as we get it all together. And then the 26th issue is The Great Escape. We get Dr. Atlas out of, he escapes.
Yes.
If you had been reading earlier, he was captured, and we're showing him how he got out of it because we want to bring him back into the stories. Actually, he's already come back in the story, so we want to show how he escaped.
Yeah. We had him captured, and then we had him come back, so then I wondered, well, how does he actually escape? Because you can't really do that. You can't show him going to jail, and then he's suddenly there without explaining how.
Or we recently watched A Night at the Opera, and people were complaining that you see Ricardo on the deck as the boat pulls out, and he's on the boat.
Yeah.
How did you pull that off? So we're trying to avoid that. So
this is the cover for those watching.
Right. And we're also doing something, I guess, really different. We're doing a story that doesn't involve Marty or Eli or Dr. Atlas or anybody. It's we're bringing back a couple of characters from Mocha and Raven, and this is Billy O'Shea and Raven. Or right now it's called Billy and Raven, and I think it's gonna be like a Power Squared story. But we just have we haven't finished the issue, but here's the cover. Which I think is kind of cool. Billy, if you recall, is a truck driver who's very punctual and very strong. Those were his kind of his powers that he was granted by Raven, who is with him on this trip.
That's right.
So we're trying to just sort of introduce another storyline that's sort of parallel, same universe, but different characters. It's the first time we've tried to do that.
Yeah, you know how comics like Invincible occasionally have had stories of following a different character? It's like that.
Yeah. So this is new for us, and I think it's a pretty good issue, and I think so. One of the things that's different this year, of course, is that we have a different artist and a different colorist for 2025's issues. Rachel Wells left at the end of 23, and so last year Julia Cannon took over to be the artist, and we hired Jen Moreno to be the colorist. And so the issues are basically drawn by Julia and colored by Jennifer, though Julia does some of the coloring.
Yes.
Because we had, we'll talk about in 2026, we've started working on issues for that time frame. And Jen will be the artist for those, and Julia will be the colorist. So kind of reversing roles. We're also hoping to put out a volume 3 of our trade. Right now, volume 1 is available to purchase. Volume 2 is really only available through Library Pass. We're going to make that available and then do a third volume of issues. I'm not sure which ones they'll be yet, but it'll be 4 or 5 issues put together.
Yeah.
And that would also lead to the idea of doing a Kickstarter next year. We haven't done a Kickstarter for a couple of years, and it would be nice to hopefully get some more money to keep doing the comic book with.
Yeah.
So that will be, and I don't know yet when that will be. It'd be I would kind of hope it'd be around kind of the WonderCon time, because then we'd actually be talking about it at WonderCon. But I don't know yet. Maybe not.
We'll see.
Yeah, it's a lot of we'll sees. Speaking of, we will be at WonderCon. Last year we were at LA Comic Con. This year we're going to be at WonderCon in Anaheim, which is March 28th through the 30th. So we hope if you're going to go that you'll come by and say hi and check out our booth. I don't know where the booth is, any of that kind of information. As we know it, we'll talk about it. But I kind of feel like we're going to kind of into the big leagues.
Yeah.
So at least AAA ball to use that. And then I'm not sure. I guess I'm being ambiguous about it because like a lot of Comic-Con people that tried out for small press, we got an email saying, "Hey, you're in." Then we got an email saying, "Oh, that was a mistake. We'll send out another email the next day." We never got that extra email, and I've been trying to follow up with them to find out, are we in or are we out? Last year, we had a chance to go to Comic-Con, but we had like a month to prep for it. We didn't think we had enough time really to pull it off successfully, so we said no, but you never know, that might happen again this year, and if it does, then we're more ready for it than we were last year.
Yeah. Though that would still warp our entire experience.
Yes, but it would be really cool to be at that show. That is kind of, that in New York Comic Con are the big U.S. cons.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think New York is a step too far at this point for us. But you never know. So anyway, we will be at WonderCon and hopefully Comic-Con.
Yeah.
We will actually be there no matter what, but we might have a table there. You can look for us. We'll be walking the floor, but hopefully we'd have a table. But never know. Anything you want to say about those things?
Well, we should. I think we should still consider other conventions.
Yes, and I do want to mention something that we announced last week is the Blade of Miracles.
Yes.
Will be coming to SRCC Press, and that will at some point be available on our website, and we'll have more information about it as time comes, but that is coming next year as well.
Yes.
And I know we talked about doing some other conventions, possibly furry convention because we have a furry character, right?
Comic.
Yes, and I was thinking maybe that would be a really good place for that as well.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see. So we may be doing that, and again, we'll be publicizing it as we go along. I don't know if we'll be doing any other cons in the fall or whatever. I don't think we're going to do LA Comic Con again. Really, wasn't? Do you think?
Well, if we did, it would probably be in a different capacity. I don't think small press.
Yeah, that wasn't really a good fit for us, surprisingly enough. But we'll see how it goes. Then, of course, we have the podcast.
Yes.
The only thing for sure is we'll do this every week. I'm going to guess that we will have Lucas Sheffel on the show at some point. I think he's coming up on his 10th appearance. And he'll be doing a Kickstarter next spring, so I'm sure we'll have him on to talk about that. Outside of Lucas, we do have a book club that we do.
Yes.
That's going to be, the first one's going to be
Rooster Fighter.
right, and
It's about a rooster kicking ass.
yes, he's very good at it. And then we're hoping to, so we'll have, I would hope maybe 6 of those next year.
Right.
And then we'll, of course, have a team meeting every month so we get to kind of know what's going on with the book and everybody involved. We're also hoping to get some guests. We've talked to the Leewalds, who are behind X-Men.
Yeah, the showrunners for X-Men TAS or X-Men 92.
So we're hoping, we've talked to them at WonderCon about being on the show, and we're just trying to arrange a time.
Yeah.
Hopefully that'll work out for us. Patrick Horvath.
Yeah, Patrick Horvath. He did the comic Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, which is a horror comic.
Okay.
It's to give you an idea, the only similarity between it and like something like disarming art style.
Okay.
But it's otherwise very different execution.
And again, we're hoping to get this person on the show. He hasn't guaranteed he's going to be on. So
Yeah, but he did sound interested when we talked to him at LA Comic Con.
Right. And then there was Agnes
Garbosco.
Yes.
I approached her at LA Comic Con. She sounded open to it, but there's no guarantee.
And we're also hoping to get Sarah Richard.
Yeah, we've been trying to get her for a while, actually.
And there's some other people that we've approached, and hopefully they'll respond.
Yeah, or we just have to poke them again.
Yeah. So we have that to do. But we're hoping to get, again, some other creators on the show to talk about their books and their lives and their careers. And I think since we did our wrap-up of the year, we actually had Tony Fleece on, Stray Dogs and Feral.
Yeah.
And I think that was a good interview.
I think so, too.
So you can catch that if you missed it. Anything else?
Related to the comic, I'm not sure. Depending on the production of the next year issues, Trevor and I may have to come up with something ourselves.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping that we can get. Jen is already starting to work on issue 28, and I guess would be 29. And then we need 2 more done by the end of the year, next year, to get them out in 26.
Yes.
So yeah, we'll see what happens, and then we'll also have the Blade of Miracles.
Yes.
Which would be a nice addition to SRCC Press. Okay. Anything else?
I think that about wraps this up.
Okay.
As well mention right here, if you're looking for a silent fidget toy, use our affiliate code Marty and Eli to save 10% off your purchase at onoroller.com. These are so silent you can't hear them.
Right. So we encourage you, if you need a fidget toy, check them out.
Yeah.
They are very quiet.
Yes. So if you're watching this on YouTube and you like this, leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more, and leave a comment below if you have any plans of your own for 2025, and if you have any topics you want us to cover.
All right. So until next time, I'm David Hankins.
I'm Paul Hankins.
And you've been on the air with Power Squared.